Good evening, Sophie. Hi, let me know if I'm audible. Let me know if I'm audible enough. Am I audible enough? Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible enough? Good evening, good evening. All right, so let maximum students join and we will start, people. Okay, let maximum join and we will start because I could see only 3 viewers right now, right? All can I see is only 3 viewers. So we'll start as soon as maximum people join, and today we are going to discuss 25th February exam task. Okay, 25th February exam task is what we are going to discuss. It's an easy case note, but yes, end of the day, the way you read, the way you analyze, the way you accept it, that is ultimately the way which will decide what should be the organization, how should we tackle it, how should be the grammar part, right? Yes, people, maximum join, and in 5 minutes we'll start. All right, so let maximum people join and we'll start reading. My writing task is visible to you. My writing task is visible to you. You all can see the task. Just respond, all those people who are attending the session right now with me. If you all can see the task and if I'm audible enough, just respond. Yes, fine. So we'll start then. So no more waiting, let's start. So writing task was, using the information given in the case note, write a letter to patient's family doctor. So we are going to write a letter to patient's family doctor and explain on preparatory session and discussion. So we are going to write a letter to patient's family doctor. Patient's family doctor, people see, is basically considered confusing because patient's GP, patient apostrophe as GP, is considered as known case. Why? Because the reader is well aware about the patient's medical background. The reader is well aware about the patient's social background. But when you when you speak about patient's family GP, there is a confusion because family GP, how can we expect the family GP to be well aware about every medical background, every social background of every member, every family member of that particular family? So he might know, he might be aware, he might not be aware, but we fully cannot confidently say that the GP, the family GP, would be well aware about each and every information of every family member. ऐसा हम मैंडेटरली नहीं कह सकते, राइट? सो फार वी हैव टू कंसिडर दिस एज अननोन केस, राइट? इसे अभी हमें अननोन केस की तरह समझना पड़ेगा बिकॉज वी कैन नॉट एक्सपेक्ट द फैमिली रीडर टू बी वेल अवेयर अबाउट एवरी इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट एवरी फैमिली मेंबर ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर फैमिली. So far we have to consider it as unknown case, or the task should give us enough clues or signs to understand that no, this is not an unknown case or this is a known case. So we'll read further and we'll conclude. So far we are writing a letter to patient's family GP considering that this is an unknown case, and explain on preparatory session and discussion. We are going to explain the preparatory session and discussion. Address the letter to Dr. Christine Baker, 183 Mount Road, Acacia Ridge, Crabtree, 3000. So name of the family GP is Dr. Christine Baker, 183 Mount Road, Acacia Ridge, Crabtree, 3000. Read the case note and complete the writing task which follows. Assume that today's date is 8 January 2023. So again, they have provided you the date of the letter, that is 8 January 2023. And you are a charge nurse at hospital oncology clinic. Okay, so today's date is given. They do not confuse us at all by any means regarding the date of the letter. Like today we were discussing in the Zoom session a calculative date. People, in exam task you will never ever come across such kind of situation where you have to sit and calculate the task. Calculate the date. Okay, so you never ever come across such a situation where you have to sit and calculate the date. No more calculative dates. Absolutely, they provide you what is the date of the letter. So today's date is clearly given, that it is 8 January 2023, and you are a charge nurse at hospital oncology clinic, and you are the charge nurse. Name of the patient is Mrs. Elisa Dawson, and DOB of the patient is clearly given, that it is 14 July 1982. So we got the name of the patient, Mrs. Elisa Dawson. We got the DOB of the patient, that is 14 July 1982. We are charge nurse, and today's date is 8 January 2023, and we are going to write a letter to family doctor. So these information are crystal clear, right? Any doubt regarding the writing task? All this information is clear to each one of you. यहाँ तक की सारी information सबको clear है? Clear up till there, people? Right? Okay. So let's talk further. Right. So let's talk further. As per the social history, she is a businesswoman and she works online. Her father had congenital heart disease. Her mother dies with heart attack. Her husband is a busy person. She has 3 school-going children. As per her medical history, she has hypertension and she is on medication. She has high cholesterol. She is on exercise. She takes exercise, or she does exercise, and she takes vitamins supplementary. So as per well information, nothing confusing. We just spoke about the social background and the medical background. Now the next visit that we're talking about happens at family doctor's clinic. Okay, so next thing that we're going to talk about is at family doctor's clinic. So at family doctor's clinic on 2nd November 2022. On 2nd November 2022, this patient visits family doctor's clinic. There, the patient presents family doctor's clinic with certain complaints. They are nausea, vomiting, abdominal discomfort, and melena. This lady underwent blood investigation and X-ray in which nothing significant was detected. On 4th November 2022, she was subjected to endoscopy and CT scan. Her CA 125 was noted as 53, which is high. Normal range is less than 35. On 6th November 2022, that is exactly after 4 days, she was diagnosed as stage 3 bowel cancer. See, this diagnosis was done at family doctor's clinic, right? That means the family doctor is well aware about the complaints. The family doctor is well aware about the diagnosis because it's the doctor himself who has diagnosed this condition. So the patient is diagnosed with stage 3 bowel cancer and the diagnosis is done by the family doctor. Appointment scheduled with oncology clinic nurse on 8th January 2023. Chemotherapy will be started on 15th January. That means 2 things now the reader is absolutely well aware. What are that? One, the diagnosis is already done. The reader is well aware about the diagnosis of the patient. Second, the patient's chemotherapy will be started coming 15th. Third, this patient has an appointment in our facility on 8th of January, right? This also the reader is very well aware. Do you have different opinion? Let me know. If you have a different opinion, let me know. You have a different opinion regarding the diagnosis, regarding the reader not aware, let me know. You have the same opinion, or if you have a different opinion, let me know. Hello, Adira. Yes, people, all of you have the different opinion or same opinion. Let me know. Considering your opinion, I have to tell you later. I have to tell you the further things. So now it depends what have you understood. Yes, people, respond. Am I not audible? This is Ananti, missing you after completing my course period. All right. All right. Happy to see you here. Ananti, how are you doing? Tell me your updates. This model letter was in February 25th exam. We are discussing the same case, my dear Elizabeth. We are discussing 25th Feb exam case, not only. Good evening, Amita. How are you doing, Amita? Same opinion. Clear up till there? Audible, right? So respond, guys. Right, have you understood? So we have the same opinion. The family doctor has diagnosed this condition and the family doctor is absolutely well aware about patient's appointment in our facility on 8th of January, and regarding patient's chemotherapy will be started coming 15. This the family doctor is absolutely well aware of. So now tell me, is it a known case or an unknown case? Now it has become a known case or an unknown case? So sweet of you, Amita. Yes, Amita, I really do remember you. I do remember you, right? You used to attend the Zoom sessions and the grammar sessions. I do remember you. Hope you're doing well. Good evening people. Now it has become a pure known case. इन्हीं इधर डाउट नहीं ला, अब इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है कि ये अननोन केस है कि नोन केस है. अब ये एक प्योर नोन केस है, राइट? ठीक है. So now what happens? Now, on 8th January 2023 at Oncology Clinic with nurse. So people, I hope the story is clear to each one of you. This patient presents the family doctor's clinic with certain complaints. There this patient is diagnosed with stage 3 bowel cancer. After the patient is diagnosed with stage 3 bowel cancer, the patient has an appointment in our facility on 8th of January. At the same time, this patient's chemotherapy is going to start coming 15th. Right. So on that basis, as per that appointment, now the patient is there on 8th of January 2023 in our clinic. That means 8th January 2023. Now it's the communication between us and the patient. So now the patient is here in our facility on 8th of January for the first preparatory session, right? For the first preparatory session, the total session is about for 30 weeks in total. Out of the 30 session, the patient today here presented for the first preparatory session, that is today. Clear? So today we explained the patient on pre-treatment blood test and purposes. We explain the treatment regarding the side effects that includes nausea, vomiting, hair loss, constipation, altered mental status, dehydration, and we told the ways to overcome them. We showed her the oncology treatment clinic, and we also provided the patient with the contact number for any kind of concerns and queries. So this was done as part of preparatory session. As part of discussion, we provided the patient the awareness of the treatment outcome, the importance, the mandatory part of yoga and meditation requirement during the treatment period. Regarding the support of family is very essential at this point of treatment, and adherence to treatment is mandatory. That compliance towards the treatment is mandatory. This is what we have explained the patient during this treatment period, during this preparatory session and during this discussion. Tell me, is the reader aware about the preparatory session and the discussion that we have done with the patient? क्या ये reader को पता है? What kind of preparatory session was it? What have we tried to explain her? Or what all have the points which we have included as part of preparatory session? What kind of discussion we had with the patient? क्या ये family GP को पता है? Is the reader aware about this? Yes, people. Is the reader aware about this now? No. ये reader को नहीं पता. Right? ये रीडर को नहीं पता. Now the reader is absolutely unaware about the points that we have discussed with the patient during this 8th visit, right? So people, the bottom line is this is a known case, right? This is a known case because you are writing the letter to the same person, right? You are writing the letter to the same person who is well aware about the medical background of the patient. While we started, we understood that this is an unknown case because we expect that how a family GP would be well aware about the information of each and every family member. So we started it with a plain unknown case. Gradually, we understood that the patient visited family doctor's clinic with certain complaints, where the patient was diagnosed with stage 3 bowel cancer. There itself, the patient got the appointment in our facility to come on 8th, as well as patient's chemotherapy is going to start on 15th, and both these appointments the reader is very well aware of. And on that basis, the patient presents in our facility on 8th of January 2023, where we explain the preparatory session all about, and we have a discussion with the patient which the reader is not aware of. And this is what exactly we are going to explain the reader, that what kind of preparatory session we had with the patient, what kind of discussion we had with the patient. Is the writing task clear to each one of you? Let me know now. Have you understood what I said so far? Is the writing task clear to each one of you? Is the writing task clear to each one of you? Let me know. Is the writing task clear to each one of you? Have you also analyzed the task in the very same way while I was reading? Did you all observe the way we read the task? We read the task gradually. We read the task very slowly so that we could understand each and every line. We understood that it was an unknown case in the beginning, but gradually it became a known case when we understood that the patient actually went to patient's GP himself, that is family GP himself, and the family GP has diagnosed the condition. So the reader is well aware about the medical background and it has become a known case now. That means we can confidently write the word update because we are updating the current health status. Right, we are actually going to explain that what kind of session we have done with the patient, and that is what we are going to talk about on this letter. Right, so let's read further. Right, so talking about the date of the letter, we are already provided today's date, right? We are already provided today's date. We were asked to assume today's date, that is clearly given. So 8/01/2023, right? 08/01/2023 is the date of the letter, right? Make sure that if you have planned to write it in slash format throughout the letter, you have to write in slash format. You have planned to write in word format, you have to write in word format throughout the letter. Do not mix the formats. So I have chosen slash format, so I'm going with that. 08/01/2023 slash format. Dr. Christine Baker. Family doctor, that's a designation of Dr. Christine Baker, that Dr. Christine Baker is family doctor. 183 Mount Road, Acacia Ridge, Crabtree 3000. Nowhere in the address I have put any kind of punctuation, no punctuation anywhere in my address. Leave a line. After leaving a line, we are going to address the reader with the second name. Dear Dr. Baker. Right, dear Dr. Baker, comma, leave a line. After leaving a line, RE full colon, Mrs. Elisa Dawson, comma, DOB full colon, 14/07/1982. It's up to you. You want to write the DOB in the next line, you can do like that also, but while you do so, you have to be particular about the punctuation. While you plan to write the DOB in the next line, do not put any punctuation after the name. What I meant is RE full colon Mrs. Elisa Dawson. Next line DOB full colon 14/07/1982. When you plan to write like this, you're not supposed to put comma after the name of the patient. Is it clear? Date, address, salutation and RE is clear to each one of you. Let me know. Come on. Date, address, salutation and RE is clear to each one of you. Date, address, salutation and RE is clear to each one of you. People, clear? Shall we proceed? Clear. So now let's talk about the introduction and body paragraphs. How are we supposed to draft it? How are we supposed to put down in words? Let's see. So I am writing, you all know I am writing is a present continuous statement, right? When we start with the statement I am writing, we are not supposed to write the word the letter. Okay, you're not supposed to say I am writing this letter, because the word this letter is understood. what you're writing is a letter is understood, so you're not supposed to use the word letter. Same way, when you plan to write it in passive voice, you are supposed to start with the word the letter, right? This letter is being written. But when you plan to write this letter is being written, then you're not supposed to give importance to yourself saying this letter is being written by me. So what did I say? These are the two rules that you have to be careful about. One, if you're starting with I am writing, do not write I am writing this letter to update you. No, I am writing to update you. Same way, you plan to write it in passive voice, do not write this letter is being written by me to update. No, this letter is being written to update. Have you understood both the ways? Have you understood both the ways? If you write in active voice, do not give importance to the word letter. If you write in passive voice, do not give importance to yourself. Okay? So I am writing to update you regarding the current health status of Mrs. Elisa Dawson, who has been diagnosed with stage 3 bowel cancer. She is still diagnosed with stage 3 bowel cancer. So kindly do not write was. Okay? Who has been diagnosed with stage 3 bowel cancer. She requires what? She requires your expertise treatment or follow-up management or professional support or ongoing management throughout her treatment period. What else are you writing this letter for? Right? What else could be the reason? See, you are not only going to explain that what all preparatory session and discussion you did with the patient. See, this patient is going to take her chemotherapy, the first chemotherapy on coming 15th. And this is a family doctor. We literally want the reader, that is the family doctor, to provide ongoing support or expertise management or expertise treatment or follow-up treatment from the part of the reader, that is family doctor, to this patient. Clear, everyone? So, writing to update the current health status of Mrs. Elisa Dawson, who has been diagnosed with stage 3 bowel cancer, and the requirement of the patient is that she requires expertise treatment or follow-up management or professional support throughout her treatment period. I started with as you know because the reader is well aware, right? There is no point of confusion that should I write as you know, should I not write as you know, is the reader aware, is the reader not aware? No, there is no such confusion. The reader is well aware about the diagnosis. So as you know, comma, Mrs. Dawson will be initiated, simple future passive voice. Why have I written in simple future passive voice? Because chemotherapy is going to start in future as compared to the date of the letter. Right? Chemotherapy sessions are going to start in future as compared to the date of the letter, because today is 8th and 15th is yet to come. Right? Today is 8th and 15th is yet to come. So as you know, comma, Mrs. Dawson will be initiated with chemotherapy for her diagnosis from 15/01/2023. Again, I'm making sure that I will write my dates in slash format because I have started my letter with slash format. So will be initiated. Her chemotherapy for her diagnosis starts from 15/1/2023, comma, and because I'm splitting, I am making sure that my two statements have two different purposes, so I am putting a comma before and. Okay? So as you know, comma, Mrs. Dawson will be initiated with chemotherapy for her diagnosis from 15/01/2023, comma, and a preparatory session has been scheduled for her, that is today, in the clinic today. And during today's visit, she was provided, because you have provided and then you are writing this letter. During today's visit, she was provided with complete information, right? She was provided complete information of 30 weeks chemotherapy sessions, right? In addition, pre-treatment blood test and purposes were discussed with her. So in the first body paragraph, I'm giving the reader a picture that, see, this is what we have done on today's visit. Introduction and first body paragraph is clear to each one of you. Let me know. Introduction and first body paragraph is clear to each one of you. Let me know. Clear? Right. Let's move on to second body paragraph. Right. Let's move on to second body paragraph because we are yet to speak about the discussion we made, right? So in my second body paragraph, I started with Mrs. Dawson. Yes, people, do not mess with the gender of the patient when it is clearly given, okay? Mrs. Dawson was provided awareness regarding the side effects of the treatment, which includes. See people, you might be confused, okay, which includes, can we write such as? Which includes and such as have same meaning, but which includes is more formal as compared to such as, right? So if you have to make a priority between which includes and such as, better go for which includes rather such as. Okay, so Mrs. Dawson was provided awareness regarding the side effects of the treatment, which includes nausea, vomiting, hair loss, constipation, altered mental status and dehydration, and she was given explanation on ways to overcome such situations. Do not get confused. I'm not using such as. I'm saying to overcome such situations. She was given orientation on oncology treatment, and she was provided with contact numbers for further concerns and queries. So we have clubbed the preparatory session and discussion. We made it 2 different body paragraphs. It's up to you. You want to write the preparatory session in 1 body paragraph and discussion in 2nd body paragraph. It's up to you, right? But whatever you decide, you make sure that these are the points which we have done for the patient. It's not that we want the reader to provide. Preparatory session and discussion points are the points which we have done with the patient. It's not supposed to be done by the reader. So nowhere in your letter it should be conveyed to the reader that the reader is supposed to do all this. No, we have already done this today, and that is what we are trying to convey to the reader. Leave a line, recommendation paragraph. In view of the above, it would be appreciated if you could render. Render means provide, right? So in view of the above, it would be appreciated if you could render. Follow-up management. See, I gave you numerous words in your introduction. You can go for follow-up management, expertise treatment, ongoing support. Choose any word for introduction so that you could use another one for your recommendation. So in view of the above, it would be appreciated if you could render follow-up management to Mrs. Dawson during her chemotherapy. Off note. People, off note is used to convey an important note which the reader must know, right? Off note is also used to convey an important information that you wanted to write in your body paragraph, but somehow you skipped it, so that you can write that point in your recommendation paragraph with the help of off note. So off note is basically used to represent an important note that you think the reader must know. So off note, she is aware about the treatment outcome, requirement of yoga and meditation, family support, as well as treatment compliance. Okay, because it was written in the task, adherence to treatment is mandatory. What is adherence? The ability to follow, the ability to obey, the ability to exactly go the way as it was told. That is called as compliance, and you can also say adherence. Right? So if you think, ma'am, should we write this point in with the help of off note? Can't we write this in the body paragraph? Certainly you can. Certainly you can. But if you happen to think that, okay, fine, I missed this point, I was supposed to write, and while writing the recommendation paragraph, it gave you the, that gave you the clue that you have actually missed an important point which was supposed to be written, you can add that point with the help of off note in your recommendation paragraph, which I have done. Right? After that, please do not forget to write the conclusion. You can use all that conclusion that you have learned in the orientation class of B-Ghud. That is, if you have any queries. But the speciality is, if you start your conclusion with if you have any queries, as you all know that if is a conditional sentence. And with the conditional sentence, we are supposed to put comma after the first clause. So if you have any queries, you're supposed to put comma after that. So if you have any queries, please do not hesitate to contact me. Or you can go for a smaller conclusion, that is, please contact me for further queries. Be very particular about the spellings of queries and hesitate, because students have the tendency of messing up with these words. So you'll be screwed up for doing that. So please don't do that. Be very careful about your spellings. Leave a line. Signing off here would be yours sincerely, because we use sincerely when we are aware about the name of the reader. When name of the reader is not given, we go for yours faithfully. So when the name of the reader is mentioned in the task, the signing off is yours sincerely. When name of the reader is not mentioned in the task, the signing off is yours faithfully. Here in this task, the name of the reader is clearly mentioned, which says yours sincerely. Yours Y should be capital and sincerely S should be small, and do not mess with the spelling of sincerely too. Yours sincerely, leave a line. When are you supposed to leave a line after signing off? When the name of the nurse is not given. Like here, if the name of the charge nurse was given, we wouldn't have leave a line. Have you understood? Here name of the charge nurse is not given, so we are leaving a line because we are supposed to leave a line if the name of the charge nurse is not given. Clear everyone? I hope the task and the content and the explanation, how it became a known case, what have we tried to explain to the reader, how we conveyed our information to the reader by expecting these points which is not given in the task. See, there is no recommendation paragraph or any kind of point is given in the task that we expect from the reader, because basically we consider a task that has got lot of points as part of discharge plan, which we sum up and write it under recommendation paragraph. This is the way we have learned, this is the way we have accepted. So we expect the question paper should be like that. And when it does not come in the way as you have thought, and then you get perplexed, you get confused. Oh my god, what should I write in my recommendation paragraph? What is the reader supposed to do? When the reader has nothing to do, why am I updating? That is when you start thinking all these points, people. But if you understand the task in the way it was, it won't be that sophisticated. So I hope the task and explanation is clear to everyone. I hope you have paid attention in all the grammatical parts that we have used, where I have used simple past, where I have used present perfect, about the date, about the address, salutation, RE, about the punctuation part, about the conclusion, each and everything of a task. People, everything is important. You cannot underestimate any point. That yes, let's mess with the conclusion, let's mess with the spelling mistake. No, every point is important, people. Is it clear, everyone? Have you understood? Any doubts you have, you can ask me right now. So this was February 25 exam case note, which I have already discussed in FB live session. I thought I should discuss in the YouTube session, so it would be recorded here, and all the students have already given this exam, right? You can also compare, and all those who are going to approach for the exam, this can be helpful. Right, people, any kind of concerns or queries if you have, you want to ask me, please ask me what is bothering you regarding this task. I'll clear it out. No doubts. Easy task. Exam task was very easy task, ma'am. Such a small task. Is that what you're thinking? Is that what the concern is? Easy task, people. No response. Somebody there? People, are you there? What happened? Very easy task. Are you underestimating the task? Such an easy task. How can even it come in the exam? Easy task. Easy task. In spite that many students said it was confusing. Right? See the people, the task never confuses you. Right? You are all set to confuse yourself. Okay? So if you read the task very slowly, if you analyze it clearly, right? Figuring out the organization is not a big deal now. Writing it in a proper way without losing the essence of the task, without losing the crux of the task, and then dealing with the task and conveying the exact information what the requirement of the task is the challenge. Figuring out the organization is not a challenge, people. Clear, everyone? Justified, right? No concerns, no doubts regarding this task. No doubts regarding this task, people. All set, all clear. Lovely task. No doubts in the explanation. Grammar set. Organization is already set, ma'am. Grammar we were already doing good. No doubts. Then fine. So we'll catch up next week with another session. If you do not have any doubts. Alright, people, thank you then. You do not have any doubts. I'm literally shocked. No doubts. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, Sarangi. Instead of off note, you can write please note. Nice, Sophie. Nice. Alright, people. So we'll catch up at 9 p.m. for the Zoom session with another task. Next Wednesday, we'll catch up with another interesting task. Let's see what can be done. So this was 25th February exam task. Please do practice. It's already going to be uploaded once I end the stream. So once it is done, do go through the task. Do write a letter, evaluate your letter, and try to compare it with this letter. Compare in the sense, try to see that what all mistakes can be done, right? What all mistakes can happen, can take place, right? So keep this as the benchmark and evaluate your letter and practice, because that's the only way to success. Only practicing can have a good improvement in your letter, right? So people, all the very best. Catch you at 9 p.m. for the Zoom session. Thank you. Bye bye. Good night. Thank you.